Hello students, in today's class let us revise the another interesting and very important concept, permutations and combinations, where we will come across in our everyday life and even in our higher studies. So various ways in which objects from a set may be selected, generally without replacement. When the order of the selection is a factor, then we will go for permutation. When the order of the selection is not a factor, then we will go for a combination. When the order is important, the order in which the things are selected is very important, then we will go for permutation. When the order is not a factor, we need only the things, then we can go for combination. So before we get into permutations and combinations, first let us see what is fundamental principle of counting or multiplication principle. What is multiplication principle? If an event, two events has to occur simultaneously, how will you compute the total number of events? Okay, so suppose if you have 3 pants and 2 shirts, in how many combinations you will wear? So first 3 pants, P1, P2, P3 refer 3 pants, and with each pant you can have a choice of 2 shirts, S1 and S2. So P1 S1, P2 S2. Similarly with the second pant you have two choices. Similarly with the third pant you have 2 choices. So totally 6 possibilities or 6 choices are there. So if an event can occur in m different ways, following which another event can occur in n different ways, then the total number of occurrences of the events in the given order is m cross n. So this is called multiplication principle. If an event occurs first in m different ways, followed by some other event occurs in n different ways, then the total number of possibilities is m into n. Okay, this can be generalized for any finite number of events. Suppose after the second event another event has to appear, then you can multiply all the 3 events. Okay, this is called multiplication principle. This was the first concept we learned in this chapter before we actually learned the concept of permutation and combination. Based on this multiplication principle, we solved the first exercise. In the first question, they have given you 5 digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they asked you to find out how many 3-digit number can be formed under repetition of digits and non-repetition of digits, when the repetition of digits is allowed and when the repetition of digits is not allowed. So when the repetition is allowed, for 3-digit number we need 3 places, ones, tens and hundreds. So in the 5 numbers we have 5 chances to occupy the units place, and 5 chances to occupy the tens place, and 5 chances to occupy the hundreds place, because the repetition is allowed. So the total number of possibility is, this is first event happening in 5 events, second event happening in 5 events, third event happening in 5 events. So you have to multiply all the 3, 5 into 5 into 5. So 125 possibilities are there to make 3-digit number using the given 5 digits. So if the repetition is not allowed, what will happen? So ones place we have 5 options, and in the tens place we have only 4 options, because 1 digit will be occupied here. Right, out of these 5 digits, 1 digit will be occupied here. So remaining 4 digits won't be left out. Out of 4 we can occupy only 1, right, among 4. Similarly in hundreds place, when 2 digits are occupied there, only 3 chances are left out. So the possibilities is 5 into 4 into 3. Hope you got it, and hope you people are recalling what we have learnt in our earlier classes. Right, so this is called multiplication principle. So let us see one more example. See here they have given you 6 digits and they have told you repetition is allowed, but the question is to form an even number. So whenever we have a question like this, first fill the places where the constraint is given. Okay, first the constraint, you have to read the question, understand the constraint and fill those places, and then occupy the remaining places with the remaining things. Right, now we need 3-digit number, so 3 places, but out of these 3 digits it should be a even number. So ones place, how will you decide whether the given number is an even number or odd? Based on its units place. So the units place should be filled with the even number. 2, 4, 6. So for the ones place, we have only 3 possibilities, right? Here the repetition is allowed is given. So for the tens and the hundreds place, we have all the 6 possibilities, right? But for the ones place, even though we have 6 numbers, we have only 3 possibilities because it should be a even number. So the total number of ways is 3 into 6 into 6, right? Hope you got it. Next is permutation. We will denote it by NPR. What is this NPR? N different objects taken R at a time. Out of N objects, R objects are taken at a time and the objects do not repeat. Then how to find N into N minus 1 into N minus 2 etc. N minus R plus 1. Hope you got it. This is using multiplication principle. So for the first event to happen, there are N possibilities since the repetition is not allowed. So for the second event, there will be only N minus 1 chances. For the third event, there will be N minus 2 chances. Likewise, for the last event, there will be N minus R plus 1 chances. Because for the second event, we have N minus 1. Third event, N minus 2. So for the last event, N minus R plus 1 events, right? So this is the formula for NPR, which means permutation of R objects taken at a time out of N objects. But since this seems to be lengthy, whenever we come across problems or the situations where we need to use the permutations, every time we cannot write like this. So to make it simpler, our great mathematicians have found another concept called factorial notation, exclamatory mark. What is meant by factorial? We know already, right? 1 factorial means 1, 2 factorial means 1 into 2, 3 factorial means 1 into 2 into 3. Likewise, till the number starting from 1 we have to multiply. That is called factorial. So n factorial can also be written as n into n minus 1 factorial. Likewise, we can reduce and write. And 0 factorial is also 1, 1 factorial is 1. 0 factorial 1 is universally accepted truth. So you have to remember 0 factorial is 1, it's not 0. Okay. So then we have solved problems on factorial. These are all very simple questions. Hope you can do it. 4 factorial minus 3 factorial. When you have questions on factorial, don't blindly sit and multiply and then subtract. It is time consuming and that is not the proper way of solving it, even though you are going to get a correct answer. See, question like this, 4 factorial minus 3 factorial. Now 4 factorial can be written as 4 into 3 factorial. Then 3 factorial you can take it as common. So 4 minus 1, which is 3. So 3 into 3 factorial. 3 factorial is 6. So 3 6 are 18. So try to use its properties and make your calculation simpler and easier. Okay. This is another question on factorial. See, 1 by 6 factorial plus 1 by 7 factorial equal to x by 8 factorial. They asked you to find the unknown. So how will you take LCM? You should not find out what is 6 factorial, 7 factorial, 8 factorial, and then you should not do with the normal procedure. As I told you, use your properties. 7 factorial can be written as 6 factorial into 7. So the LCM will be 6 factorial into 7. So you have to multiply by 7 plus 1. Right? So 8 is equal to x by 8 factorial. So cross multiply it, 8 into 8 factorial. Now again 8 factorial can be written as 6 factorial into 7 into 8. Right? And already we have 8 here. So you can cancel few things. So the value of x is 64. So like this much simpler you can solve this problem. And you have to do in this way only, right? Next we have seen what is permutation. As I told you, to make our denotions easier only, they have introduced a factorial notation. So earlier we have seen the formula for NPR. Permutation of R objects taken out of N objects is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into etc. n minus r plus 1. Right, that can be written so simpler like n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. How? Because n factorial is product of 1 to n terms. N minus r factorial is product of 1 to n minus r terms. So from the numerator and the denominator, 1 to n minus r terms will get cancelled. So in the numerator we will be left with n minus r plus 1, n minus r plus 2 etc. till n. So that is what the formula for NPR. All these explanations I have given detail in detail in our videos, right? Now I am giving you just glimpse. So it is enough if you remember only the formula. So NPR, when the repetition is not allowed, is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. When the repetition is allowed, it is n power r, just n power r. Then there is one more thing, number of permutations of n objects where p objects are of the same kind and the rest are all different, then it is n factorial divided by p factorial. Okay, this is the number of things which repeats. P objects are of the same kind. In general, this can be generalized. If one object is repeated that many times, then you can write it like this. If 2-3 objects are repeated, you can extend it. Okay, where p objects are of the same kind and the rest are all different, there is n factorial divided by p factorial. We will see one example based on this so that you can recall. So I repeat once again, NPR is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial when the repetition is not allowed. When the repetition is allowed, it is just n power r. If p objects are of the same kind, then n factorial divided by p factorial. Right? Now with this, let us see a few problems. In the first question, see digits 1 to 9 are given and the repetition is not allowed. When the repetition is not allowed and the order is a factor, order of the selection is a factor, then we have to go with permutations only. When the order of the selection is not a factor, you can go with combination. Now we have to say how many 3-digit numbers are there, right? Now required number of 3-digit numbers. So out of 9 digits, we are going to choose only 3 digits. So it is just NPR where the repetition is not allowed. So the formula is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Alright. So n minus r. So 9 minus 3 is 6 factorial. 9 factorial can be written as 6 factorial into 7 into 8 into 9, which is 504. This can be solved using multiplication principle also. How you will solve in multiplication principle? For any 3-digit number, for the ones place we have 9 chances and the repetition is not allowed. Then for the tens place we have 8 chances and for the ones place we have 7 chances. So 7 into 8 into 9, which is nothing but 504. You can solve directly using multiplication principle or else you can go with the permutation concept, right? Okay, let us see the third question. They have given you the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, right? These 6 digits are given and the question is how many 3-digit even numbers can be made using the digits if no digit is repeated. No digit is repeated, right? So here it should be an even number. So first we should give preference to the ones place. Ones place can be occupied by 2, 4 or 6. Right? So it is fixed. And what is a possibility for the remaining 2 places? Remaining 2 places is one is fixed here. One place is fixed here. So it is like choosing. It doesn't have any possibility, right? It is fixed among these 3. Now out of the remaining 5, we have to choose only 2. So which is nothing but 5p2, right? So the units place can be occupied by 3 numbers, 3 chances are there, and for the hundreds and the tens place, one number has been fixed out of these 6 numbers. So remaining 5 chances are there. Out of 5 we have to take 2. So this is nothing but 5p2. So the total number of possibilities is 5p2 into 3. 5p2 into 3 is the total number of possibilities, right? Likewise only you have to solve problems based on permutations. Hope you people recall. And there is another type of problem which can be asked like directly using the formula for permutation. Find n if n minus 1 p3 is to n p4 is equal to 1 is to 9. Ratios can be expressed as fractions. Then apply the formula, NPR formula, and then simplify using the properties and find what is n. So these kind of problems can also be asked. Now let us see this question. This is also an important type of question. Here the number of letters are repeats. In how many of the distinct permutations of the letters in Mississippi do the 4 I's not come together? The question is, do the 4 I's not come together? So how are we going to find here is, first let us find the number of distinct permutations using the letters, and then we are going to find how many permutations, in how many permutations those 4 i's occur together, and we are going to subtract those two. That will give you the number of permutations in which 4 i's not occur together, right? Now what is the formula to find the number of distinct permutations? We know if the digits or the letters are repeats, the formula is n factorial divided by p factorial. Here I repeats 4 times, s repeats 4 times, p repeats 2 times, and m is only once. Therefore total number of letters is 11. So n factorial, 11 factorial divided by 4 factorial, 4 factorial into 2 factorial. So if we simplify, we got this number. Now next let us find when the 4 i's occur together. When the 4 i's occur together, we will treat it as a single object. So out of 11, 4 objects we have to reduce. So 11 minus 4 is 7. And we will treat this as a single object. So 7 plus 1, 8. So there are 8 objects now, because we treat that all the I as a single object, right? So out of 8 objects, now we have to leave I. Now S and P repeats for 4 times and 2 times. So the number of distinct permutations for these i's to occur together is 8 factorial divided by 4 factorial into 2 factorial. If we simplify, we got 840. Therefore, number of distinct permutations in which the 4 i's do not occur together is, from this total number we have to subtract. Suppose if the question is find the probability that the 4 i's occur together, it is enough if you find only this. You should treat all the i's as a single object, and from the total number of objects subtract the repetition of the I, so that will give you the distinct, plus this you should treat it as a single object, and then you go for the permutation formula for the repetition of the objects, n factorial divided by p factorial, right? Hope you got it. And the next question also almost are of the same kind. See here, the word permutation is arranged. In how many ways can the letters of the word can be arranged if the word starts with P and end with S? So there are 12 letters in the word permutations. So it should start with P and it should end with S. So the first position and the last position are fixed. And if you see, T alone repeated 2 times, all other once. So what will be the number of required arrangements now? Now P and S is fixed. So remaining 10 positions only have their chances. Out of the 10 positions, one is repeating 2 times. So the number of required arrangements is n factorial divided by p factorial. So 10 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Why this is 10? Because 2 positions is been already fixed, right? If you see the second subdivision, vowels are all together. So how many ways the letters can be arranged if the vowels are all together? So we have clubbed all the vowels together. E, U, A, I, O. These are the letters which appear in the word permutations. So there are 5 vowels. So we have to subtract these 5 vowels from the total number of letters, and we should treat it as a single object. So it is 7 plus 1, 8 objects. Out of this, which letter is repeated twice? T is repeated twice. So the number of distinct permutations is going to be 8 factorial divided by 2 factorial, like the problem which we did in Mississippi. But in the Mississippi, I is the same letter, but here we have different letters. So these 5 letters can be arranged in 5 factorial ways, right? 5p5 ways, which is nothing but 5 factorial. So we have to multiply 8 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 5 factorial. So two things, multiplication principle. 2 events happen in these many ways. So together means we have to apply multiplication principle. So you have to multiply and give your answer. Alright. The third subdivision here is always there should be 4 letters between P and S. There should be always 4 letters between P and S. So the position of P and S is fixed now. The position of P and S is fixed now. So the number of arrangements it can be done is 10 factorial divided by 2 factorial, as we have done in our first subdivision. Also P and S, now even though the position of P and S is fixed, that position can be changed in many ways. In how many ways? 7 ways. How? If P is fixed in the first position, S can be fixed in the 6th position, because there should be 4 letters in between. If P is fixed in second position, S can be in the position 7. If P is in third position, S can be in 8th position. Likewise, there are 7 possibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possibilities. So 2 into 7 ways it can be arranged. Again, multiplication principle. This into this will give you the required number of arrangements. Alright, hope you got a clear idea and recalled about permutations. Now let us see about combinations. What is meant by a combination? When the order of the selection is not important, we will go for the combination. NCR factorial is n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. Okay, when the order is not important, you have to go for combination. Its formula is n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. And for NPR, it is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial, right? If r equal to n, NCN is 1. And similarly, NCN minus r is same as NCR. If we have NCR, it can be written like NCN minus r. For example, 10C5 can be written as 10C3 can be written as 10 minus 3, which is 7. If we have bigger numbers, we can go for this NC n minus r. Then NCR plus NCR minus 1 is n plus 1 CR. NC0 is 1. NCA plus NCB is implies A equal to B. Or else we can write A equal to n minus B. This comes using this formula. N is equal to A plus B. So you have to know all these formula, right? See the first question. If NC8 equal to NC2, find NC2. We know NCA equal to NCB, A equal to B, or else N is equal to A plus B. So if we find what is N, we can go for NC2. So N is 8 plus 2, which is 10. So once you find N, you can go for NC2 formula directly. Then as we have seen problem in permutation, we have question in combination as well. It's like mere application of the formula and the simplification, right? And next question, we have to find the number of cards can be drawn through 21 points on a circle. So to draw a card, we need 2 points and there are 21 points on a circle. It doesn't matter in which order we are going to choose the point. It can be chosen in any way, but we need only 2 points at a time. So we are going for combination, and which is NCR. Out of 21, we are going to take 2. What is NCR? N factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. You have to just simplify. That's it. Alright. And if you see the next question, in how many ways can a team of 3 boys and 3 girls be selected from 5 boys and 4 girls? So a team of 3 boys and 3 girls are to be selected from 5 boys and 4 girls. So 3 boys should be selected out of 5 boys in how many ways? 5C3 ways. And similarly, 3 girls out of 4 girls can be selected in 4C3 ways. Out of 4, we have to select 3. Again, the order is not important, so we are going for combinations here. Therefore, by multiplication principle, we have to multiply these two. That will give you the answer, right? See the 7th question. There are total number of 17 players. They are going to select 11 players for a cricket team. Out of those 11 players, it should include only 4 bowlers. That is what the question. But out of these 17, 5 are bowlers. This is what given in the question. I repeat, 17 players. Out of 17 players, 5 are bowlers. This is given in the question. We need to select a cricket team of 11 players in which exactly 4 should be the bowler. This is what given in the question. In how many ways this can be done? So out of 11 players, 4 should be bowlers. So the remaining 7 can be a non-bowler player. So these 4 bowlers can be chosen out of 5. So 5C4 ways. And this 7 players can be chosen out of 17 minus 5 is 12 players are remaining. So out of 12. So this is 12C7. So by multiplication principle, it is 5C4 into 12C7. Right? Hope you got it. Hope you got the concept of permutation and the combinations. So do these questions as homework. Hope you people recalled all the concepts. And if you see the repeatedly asked questions like the letters or the objects which repeats, like the problem which I have showed you, like Mississippi, that permutation, those kind of problems are repeated and asked in the question. So I want you to practice those questions properly, and I have given you few selected questions from miscellaneous exercise as well. So do all these questions and post it in the group. If you have doubts, ask me. So what are all the things we have went through in this chapter? First, we have learnt about the concept of multiplication principle, then factorial notation, permutations, and then the combination. When the order is very, very important, we will go for permutation. When the selection of the objects is not important, we will go for combinations. Alright, hope you got it, guys. If you have doubts, you can ask me. Thank you, students.